Hello everybody, nice to meet you. Today we will learn about lesson 19 that we will review the lesson 10 to 18. Okay, so the first thing we will review that is expression of quantitative. Let's see. Expressions of quantity. Let's look at some example. Each ounce is dirty. Each ounce is dirty. It seems like we went to every grocery store in the city. It seems like he went to every grocery store in the city. Next, we have there were several kinds of cereal on sale. There were several kinds of cereal on sale. Cereal. Each ounce is dirty. It seems like we went to every grocery store in the city. There were several kinds of cereal on sale. So in the first sentence we have each, every, and several. They are called expressions of quantity. Okay, now let's look at the structure. We have each, every, many, and finally several. We used with use it with countable noun. Countable nouns. For example, ounce is can count. We can say 1 ounce, ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce. Next we have a little, much, a great deal. It is a new expression of quantitative. A great deal. Okay. So we can put it with non-count nouns. A little, much, a great deal. We can use these expressions of quantity with non-count nouns. And some expressions of quantity can come before countable and non-count. And it means that it has some expressions of quantity. It's not just for countable nouns or non-count nouns. It can go with countable and non-countable with it. Let's see. Oh, we have most, all, a lot of, plenty of. Most, all, a lot of, plenty of. We can use these expressions of quantity with countable or and non-count non-count nouns. For example, most of these words are most of knowledge. Knowledge is non-count nouns. We don't say one knowledge, two knowledge, three knowledge. Okay, a little, much, a great deal for non-count nouns. Each, every, many, several, it is for countable nouns. Remember it because if you put the expressions of quantity, it is wrong. Like many is for non-count nouns, so your grammar is not right. So you can get low score. And if you use a great deal with countable nouns, it's also like this. But with this, we can use it with countable and non-count nouns, both of it. But remember, it's have not have the same meaning. It have a difference of meaning. So you must know the meaning of this and can use it with some things that is particular. Okay, let's look at some example of plenty. There were plenty of shoppers at the store, and there was plenty of traffic in front of the grocery store. Okay. There were plenty of shoppers at the store. There was plenty of traffic in front of the grocery store. We have shoppers and traffic. All the shoppers are countable nouns and traffic is non-count nouns. But with plenty of, we can use with countable and non-count nouns. So you can see the difference of the verb in this sentence. Were, yeah, were because plenty of this is with countable nouns and with shoppers are in the plural form. So we use were for plural nouns. But with was, it is for traffic. Why? Because non-count nouns is always with the verb are in singular with singular nouns. Traffic is singular nouns because it is non-count nouns. So we must use was. They are called the verb for singular nouns. Okay, it's time to look and listen. It costs $1 for an apple. Every deli smells the same. We should go to a couple of grocery stores. Now we will look at the participle adjectives. I am clear the board now. There are some things I need to clear. Now write the participle adjective. Participle adjectives. Okay, let's see some example and then I will give you the information or the review that are participle adjectives. See two sentences that our example I give for you. Shopping is boring. For husbands, Aiden is a bored shopper. Shopping is boring for husbands. Ellen is bored shopper. So you can see we have the word boring, bored. Boring, bored. With shopping is boring for husbands. We have boring is the adjective because it is after the verb to be is boring. Is the adjective. Is the adjective. And yeah. It is car particip no person participle. Boring. It is the adjective and is also like the person participle. So we can say that the person participle form of something can be the adjective in a sentence in and is have the actual meanings. So what it say? That shopping is boring for husband. So it have the actual meaning that shopping is boring for husband and husband is bored by shopping like this. But with Ellen is bored a bored shopper bored. They're also called the adjectives. The adjectives and we call it is past participle. Bored is the adjective and is also a past participle. So with this, past participle is can be used as the subject, as the adjective in the sentence, and is have the passive meaning that Ellen is a bored shopper by something, and you know we can use person participle as part participle by the adjective in sentence. But with boring or we'll say person participle, we use it for active meanings and past participle we use it for yes, we use it for passive meanings. Okay, it's time to look and listen. Finding a good bargain is very satisfying for Jean. I saw my mother through the crowded aisles. Slow shoppers are very annoying. Now we're going to look at the adjectives that have the different ends. Suffice. We can call this adjective or suffice. Okay. Suffice. Let's see some example. O-U-S, us. It ends with us. Let's look at the sentence that have the adjective you end with us. It is dangerous to sleep with a lot of children. It is dangerous to sleep with a lot of children. So you can see we have the word dangerous. Dangerous. It is the adjective that ends with letter O-U-S and with suffice. Next, we have O. The shoppers were playing musical chairs with their shopping carts. The shoppers were playing musical chairs with their shopping carts. So in this sentence we have musical is the adjective that is end with o. Okay, next we have Eve. Cherish is an adjective. Shopper when dresses well. Cherish is an attractive shopper when dresses well. So in this sentence, can you find out the adjective that have the that end with Eve? Attractive. That's right. And attractive is the suffix because it ends with E-I-V-E. Let's look at more. We have a lot of able. Liz never felt comfortable in the grocery store. Liz never felt comfortable in the grocery store. Comfortable is the adjective in this sentence and is end with able. Next, we found four. Some of the stock boys aren't careful when they stock fruit in the produce. Some of the stock boys aren't careful when they stock fruit in the produce. So careful, they are called the adjective that we have for is end with letter for. Okay, dangerous, musical, attractive, comfortable, and finally careful. Okay, it's time to look and listen. Unfortunately, food shopping is vital. Okay, the food in this store is hardly affordable. The massive grocery store had hundreds of shoppers. Now let's look at the phrase. Let's clear this board here. Dun, dun. Next, we will look at the phrase. We will also look at the definition of it. What is a phrase? Phrase. Let's look at the first sentence when we have looked at this and this knowledge. That reveal what is a phrase? Oh. What is a phrase? A phrase is mean a group of words, but it does not contain a fully meaning of subject or the verb. So it means if it have verb, it's not have subject, and if have a subject, it's not have a verb. Like this way. And a phrase can be used as the subject. For example, now use as the subject. We will look at one example of phrase that can be used as a subject. The children's slide was broken. The children's slide was broken. So the children's slide They call them praise because you can see it have a lot of nouns, and the children's slide in this sentence is have a role of subject, so we can use a phrase to make a subject be a phrase can be used as a subject. Let's look at more. We can use infinitive phrases in a sentence. Infinitive phrases. Let's see the example. The playground director told us to leave the park. Okay, the playground director told us to leave the park. We have to leave the park. They'll call the phrase. So we can begin a phrase by infinitive, like to leave. They are called the infinitives. Let's look at more. We can use children phrases in the sentence. No, children's. Let's look at the example. Going to the playground isn't as much fun used to be. With children, we can begin a phrase by children. For example, going to the playground isn't as much fun as it used to be. We have going to the playground. They are called a playground. A phrase, and it's begin with going. Going is a children, so we can use children to begin a phrase. Okay. We can use phrase as a subject, like the children's slide. We can use infinitive phrase begin a phrase. For infinitive to begin a phrase. For example, to leave the park. To leave is infinitive. And we also use children's to begin a phrase. For example, going to the playground. Going is a children. Okay, it's time to look and listen. The playground director found the lost child. The child asked his mom to have her on the slide. Her on the slide. Okay, now let's look at a noun clause. Okay, I will write here at a board. Noun clause. Noun clauses. Okay, before we will look at noun clause, let's look at what is a clause. And remember, question is always have a question mark. Okay, a clause it is a group of words that is have subject and a verb. It means that it can have both subject and verb. And a clause is means subject plus verb. Remember it, because a phrase it is a group of words, but it can have the subject or some have a verb, but it's not contain both of it. But with a clause, it must have subject and the verb. Now, let's look at the example. Frank doesn't know where doesn't know where the camp is. So we have where the camp is. They are called the clause because you can see the camp is the subject. Is the verb. Subject and verb is a clause. Now a noun clause can begin with whether or not or if. Begin with oh. I will erase this example and then we will have a lot of place to write. Begin with whether or not, or it begin with if. So a noun clauses it can begin with whether or not or if. Let's see the example of this. Okay, we have Patty doesn't know whether whether or if, because whether or not is the negative form of whether. Whether correct has the R's. And finally, the camp director wonders if the camp needs a new raft. Betty doesn't know whether Greg has the R's. So you can see a noun clause in this. It is whether Greg has the R's. The camp director wonders if the camp needs a new raft. We have if the camp needs a new raft. They are called the noun clause. Noun clause is we can begin a noun clause like this sentence by whether or if, or we can use the negative form of whether is whether or not. Now let's look at a noun clause can begin with that, the word that, as the example. Let's see. I think that this tent is too old. I think that this tent is too old. That this tent is too old. They are called the noun clause. Remember, and you can see that I begin this noun clause by the words that. That is. Okay, let's look at this and then we will find look at the part of look at listen. We can begin a noun clause by whether or if. For example, for instance, Betty doesn't know whether Greg has the R's. The camp director wonders if the camp needs a new raft. And a noun clause can begin with that. For example, this. I think that this tent is too old.